Today, we explore a selection of powerful English words starting with the letter C. From everyday expressions to vocabulary commonly used in series, films, news, and real-life situations. Stay with us and expand your English vocabulary with clear examples and useful notes. Cast, noun. The group of actors in a film, play, or TV series. The cast of the series is very talented. The main cast was announced last week. Casting, noun. The process of choosing actors for roles. She attended a casting for a new TV show. In the TV series Friends, the character Joey Tribbiani spends much of the show attending castings and auditions while trying to become a successful actor. Cast refers to the actors in a production, while casting refers to the process of selecting them. The casting took months, but the final cast was excellent. Cast also has a completely different meaning. A cast is a hard covering used to protect a broken bone. He broke his arm and had to wear a cast for 6 weeks. Contrary, opposite in nature or direction. His opinion is contrary to mine. On the contrary, used to show the opposite of what has just been said. I'm not tired. On the contrary, I feel energetic. I don't find the job boring. Quite the contrary, it's very exciting. Convey, to communicate or express something. The message was clearly conveyed. Crystal clear, extremely clear, or easy to understand. The instructions were crystal clear. Crowbar, a metal tool used for forcing things open. A crowbar can help you move heavy objects with less effort. Crowbar, leverage. A crowbar is a physical tool used as a lever to force things open, while leverage means having power or advantage to influence a situation. He used a crowbar to open the door. The company used its size as leverage in negotiations. Coy, pretending to be shy or modest. She gave a coy smile. Container, an object used to store or transport things. The food is kept in a plastic container. The goods were transported overseas in a shipping container. Cracker, a thin, dry biscuit. She ate cheese and crackers. Checkered has a literal meaning, patterned, and a figurative one, irregular history. Checkered, having a pattern of squares, or having a history with many ups and downs. He had a checkered career in politics. The driver crossed the finish line under the checkered flag. He was wearing a red checkered shirt. Counter, token. A small object used in games for counting or moving. Move your counter forward. Countdown, the act of counting backwards to an event. The countdown to launch began. Cornerstone, a basic or fundamental part of something. Trust is the cornerstone of the relationship. Coax, persuade gently, sometimes by flattering or reassuring. She coaxed the child to eat. Clutter, a mess of things. The boss criticized him because his desk was cluttered with papers. Clutter, mess. Clutter refers to too many objects crowding a space, while mess means general disorder or untidiness. The desk is cluttered with papers. The room is a mess. Clutter is about too many things. Mess is about disorder in general. Chemical, chemistry. Chemistry is the science that studies substances and their reactions, while chemical refers to a substance or something related to chemistry. She studies chemistry. The factory uses chemical products. Compulsory, mandatory, required by law, rule, or authority. Education is compulsory for children up to 16. Wearing a seatbelt is mandatory while driving. Compassion, meaning sympathy and concern for others. The nurse showed great compassion for her patients. Compassion, pity, empathy. Compassion means deep concern for someone suffering with a desire to help. Pity is feeling sorry for someone, sometimes distant. And empathy is the ability to understand how someone feels. She showed compassion for the victims. I felt pity for him. She has great empathy for others. Composure, meaning calmness under pressure. He remained calm and kept his composure. Despite the criticism, she kept her composure throughout the meeting. He lost his composure during the argument, but quickly regained it. Comprehend, meaning to understand fully. I couldn't comprehend the problem. Comprehend, understand. Both mean to understand, but comprehend is more formal and means to understand something fully or deeply, while understand is more common in everyday speech. I understand the question. It's hard to comprehend the consequences. It is hard to comprehend the scale of the universe. It is difficult to comprehend fully the consequences of climate change. Concession, meaning something granted after negotiation. The company refused to make any concessions during the negotiation. The company made a concession after long negotiations with the workers. The government made a political concession to avoid public protests. Concession, administrative, business. An official permission granted by a government or authority to operate a business or service. The government granted a concession to manage the highway. The company holds a concession to run the airport services. Concession, small business, a small independent business operating inside a larger venue, such as a cinema or stadium. The popcorn concession is next to the entrance. Venue, a place where an event happens or where people gather, especially for entertainment, sports, or performances. Venue is a general word for places like cinemas, stadiums, theaters, or concert halls. In places like cinemas or stadiums, food and drink businesses are called concessions. Conduct, meaning to organize or carry out. The police conducted an investigation. The company conducted a survey to understand customer satisfaction. Conductor, a person who conducts an orchestra or a choir. The conductor led the choir during the cathedral performance. Conductor comes from the verb conduct, meaning to lead or direct. Conductor, director. Conductor is used for the person who leads an orchestra or choir, while director is more general and refers to someone who manages or leads an organization, company, or film. Contain, to have something inside, or to control feelings or reactions. The box contains books. She couldn't contain her emotion at the moment and started to cry. This bottle is designed to contain liquid safely. He tried to contain his anger. She couldn't contain herself after the news. Confront, meaning to face a problem or person directly. The company must confront the problem before it gets worse. She confronted the problem directly instead of ignoring it. Confront, face, a problem. Both are used to talk about dealing with a problem, but face is more neutral and common, while confront is stronger and implies active resistance or courage. The company faced serious difficulties. She confronted the problem directly. Face is more common in everyday English. Confront sounds more intense and dramatic. He confronted his colleague about the missing files. He confronted his boss to defend a colleague. In English, we confront people or problems, not ideas. To talk about ideas, use debate, discuss, challenge, or compare ideas. The team debated different ideas before making a decision. Consent, meaning permission or agreement. The patient gave her consent for the surgery. The study required informed consent from all participants. The landlord cannot enter my home without my consent. In many countries, landlords are legally required to obtain the tenant's consent before entering the property, except in emergencies. Consent decree. A legal agreement approved by a judge to resolve a dispute without trial. The company agreed to a consent decree to change its practices. In legal series like Elsbeth, terms such as consent decree are not fictional. They are real legal tools used in the United States, especially in cases involving government agencies, police departments, or large companies. The police department entered into a consent decree after the investigation. Thanks for watching, and keep building your vocabulary, one word at a time.